I wondered if it was about a carnival for conceited people. At the checkout, Uncle Scott asked if we liked the clothes that they'd picked. I ignored them and stared at a rack of Mars bars. Manny grabbed a handful and threw them on the mountain of clothes. We checked out and drove for another long time. We listened to the Beatles. A weird song called Eleanor Rigby came on. I listened to every word. There was a Mars bar on my lap, but I didn't eat it. The town we were entering looked nice. Peter put his finger in his throat and pretended to gag. "Welcome to Wensleydale," said Uncle Scott. It didn't seem right after all that had just happened. He might as well have walked into a funeral singing "Happy Birthday." We pulled into a driveway. "We're here," he said. He didn't say home. Their house looked like a gingerbread house. It had a pointy roof and a big veranda. White trim hung from the eaves like icing. I wanted to pour hot water over it. They asked if we were okay. They asked if we wanted anything to eat. They said we could have a shower or a bath, whatever we wanted. They had a big round tub that made bubbles. It looked nice. I took a shower. The water pelted me. I didn't wash my hair because they probably wanted me to. Some people have naturally curly hair. Mine was naturally tangly. It was a nest. Uncle Scott asked if he could comb it. He didn't know that my tangles ate combs, even though combs were the ones with teeth. Uncle Scott and Manny had 2 spare rooms. "They're guest rooms right now," said Manny. "But you can pick one and decorate it however you like." I picked the one that overlooked the back garden. I could see the moon from the window. Peter's room faced the street. He could see a street lamp. "We can trade if you'd like," I said. "No," said Peter. "You deserve the moon." I felt bad. Peter deserved the moon, too. My room had a rocking chair. I liked seats that moved. They were way less boring than seats that didn't. The bed stood high off the floor. It had a fancy wooden headboard. It thought it was really something special. It didn't know it did the same job as a mattress on the floor. If it did, maybe it wouldn't have looked so smug. The social worker had asked if there was anything I wanted to take from the old house. I took a dog breed poster and my favorite cushion. The dog breed poster we'd found in a recycling bin, and the sequined cushion my mother had bought to say sorry. "I can wash that, if you'd like," said Uncle Scott. The sympathy on his face leaked out his pores and dripped on the floor. I put on my imaginary boots and splashed in his pity puddle. He got drenched. I stayed dry. My yellow raincoat matched my boots. I went to bed. The bedsheets smelled like Zoya's flowers. I bought a rose from my mother there once. Uncle Scott hovered around me with his bouncing eyes. "Have a good night's sleep, okay? If you need anything, just let us know. We'll be just across the hall." He talked and talked until Manny touched his arm and said, "There's no need to walk on eggshells, hon." When they left, Peter came in. "Did you come to see the moon?" I asked. He climbed in beside me. It felt weird, being apart. He nodded to the door across the hall. "They're annoying, aren't they?" I opened my Mars bar. "Yeah, but Manny's tattoos are cool." He was covered in leaves from his elbow to wrist, a foresty cast made of ink. At the old house, sleep came quick. That's what happens when you have things to block out. At Uncle Scott's, I didn't have to worry about monsters in the dark. I could think about other things instead. The park I saw from his car window, how cute bull terriers are, whether or not snakes wished they had legs, and why Eleanor Rigby keeps her face in a jar by the door. "Go to sleep, Tig," said Peter. I reached out and touched his hair. He had a buzz cut. It felt prickly and smooth, like what I imagined a baby hedgehog would feel like. Running my fingers over it was how I fell asleep at night. I closed my eyes. Falling asleep because you're tired is way better than falling asleep because you don't want to be awake.